Starseed from Gaia. The system did not collapse on its own. You walked through it, and it shattered behind you. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I have been sent to deliver this transmission directly to you in this moment, because what happened was not a mistake. It was the activation the Arcturian Council has been preparing you for across lifetimes. You didn't stumble into this. You were the force. You were the fracture point. And millions moved because something in them recognized what you carried. Even if neither of you had the words for it yet, by the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how your presence alone dismantled the structures that were never built to hold the light you carry, and how to move forward now that the old architecture has fallen. But here is the first revelation. The collapse you triggered was not destruction, it was liberation. And the ones who ran were not lost, they were released. You didn't scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason. Your soul called this in. You have been waiting to remember what you are capable of, and now the Council is ready to show you the full scope of what your awakening has set in motion. Like this transmission to signal to your star family. I am ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are aligning with your true purpose. Comment 999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare your galactic intention and reply to someone else's to amplify the signal across the collective field. This is not content. This is a code, and something inside you already knows it. You are not here by accident. They couldn't hold what you were carrying. That's the truth. Nobody tells you when the walls start coming down around you. The systems didn't collapse because they were weak. They collapsed because you walked into them carrying a frequency they were never designed to contain. And the moment you stopped pretending to be smaller than you are, the whole structure shook. Not because you were destructive, because you were real. And reality, true, unfiltered, galactic origin reality, is the one thing a distortion field cannot survive. Imagine trying to fit the vastness of an ocean into a teacup. The cup was bound to shatter. Most people called it chaos. They called it instability. They pointed at the cracks and said you caused them. But those cracks were already there. They were always there, papered over with compliance, with performance, with the slow and patient agreement to forget. You didn't create the fractures. You were the light that illuminated them. You walked through the room, a radiant being of pure essence, and the light you were emitting hit every hollow wall, every false foundation, every structure that was only standing because nobody had looked at it clearly in a very long time. That's not destruction. That's disclosure. That's what a starseed does when they finally stop apologizing for the truth living inside them, like a dormant seed finally feeling the sun and beginning to sprout. But here's what they don't want you to understand. Here's the part that gets buried under the noise of people leaving, systems failing, and relationships dissolving. The collapse was coded into your mission before you arrived. You didn't stumble into this, you agreed to it. There was a moment before this lifetime, before this body, before the forgetting settled in like a dense fog across your memory. There was a moment where you said yes to being the frequency that breaks what no longer serves. You said yes to being the one who walks in and makes the whole comfortable arrangement impossible to maintain. That wasn't an accident. That was a soul contract, written in star language, a celestial decree, and it's activating right now, humming through your very bones. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, a resonance, a knowing deep within your core, you may be ready to receive the hidden Arcturian keys of awakening. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. And what the Arcturian Council wants you to hear, what has been transmitted across dimensions specifically for this moment in your timeline, is that your disconnection was never a failure. It was a protection mechanism, a sacred pause. You could not fully remember who you are while still embedded in a field that would punish you for it, a garden not yet ready for the rare bloom. The amnesia wasn't a mistake in your coding. It was a profound act of mercy. It held your full galactic identity in reserve, like a precious jewel protected until the right conditions arose, until the field around you reached a frequency that could receive it without destroying you in the process. And that threshold, that exact vibrational threshold, is where you are standing right now, on the precipice of your own magnificent becoming. This is why the isolation felt so specific. This is why the loneliness had a texture unlike anything ordinary grief produces. It was a cosmic homesickness, because you weren't just missing people, you were missing yourself. You were missing the version of you that exists without the compression of lower density expectations pressing down on your consciousness, like a heavy blanket smothering your true spirit. You were missing the ease of being known, truly known, at the level of your origin rather than your performance. And every system that fell away was removing another layer of that compression. Every person who couldn't stay was withdrawing the expectation that required you to be less than you are. The leaving was a liberation, even when it felt like loss, like a painful shedding of old skin to reveal the radiant self beneath. This is the first thing you have to understand if you're going to move forward without dragging the old weight behind you. The collapse was not punishment, it was preparation. The emptiness you stepped into when everything cleared out is not a void. It's a cleared field, a sacred space cleared for a new divine purpose. It's the space your expanded frequency requires in order to do what it came here to do. You cannot build on a foundation that belongs to someone else's architecture. You were meant for something grander. And everything that fell was built on someone else's blueprint for who you were supposed to be. A blueprint that never truly fit the divine design of your soul. Now let's talk about what happens next, because this is where most starseeds stall out, caught in the quiet after the storm. The clearing happens. The structures fall. The relationships thin. The old identities dissolve. And then there's this space, this vast, sometimes terrifying, often disorienting space, like a boundless desert stretching before you. And instead of recognizing it as the beginning, many read it as the end. They look at the cleared field and call it wreckage. They sit in the frequency of loss when they are actually sitting in the frequency of arrival, the homecoming to their true selves. And the difference between those two experiences is not external. It's a single internal pivot in how you are interpreting what is happening to you. A subtle yet profound shift in perspective. You are not in the aftermath of destruction. You are in the preparation ground of something your higher self has been architecting across multiple dimensions for a very long time. A cosmic masterpiece in progress. The Arcturian Council has been watching this trajectory, your trajectory, and the transmission coming through now is this: the field is ready. You have done enough clearing, enough dismantling, enough painful, honest reckoning with who you are not, that the space now exists to activate who you actually are. What comes next is not more loss. What comes next is the beginning of coherence, the dawning of a new integrated reality. So we're going to move through this carefully, because activation is not the same as information. Activation is an energetic event, a profound alchemy. It requires your full presence, your willingness to receive, and your readiness to stop editing the parts of yourself that the old world found inconvenient, the parts that made you shine too brightly for their limited light. The first phase is decoding the distortion that has kept your signal scrambled. Because here is something most awakening teachings don't address directly. The interference is not always external. Yes, there are collective fields. Yes, there are frequency suppressions woven into the architecture of consensus reality, a subtle energetic smog. But for most starseeds, the deepest interference is the internalized version of all of that. It's the voice that says you're too much, the echo of judgment that has become your own internal critic. It's the reflex that softens your truth before you speak it, like a hesitant whisper in a world that needs a clear proclamation. It's the learned behavior of reading the room and adjusting your frequency so that others don't feel challenged by your presence. A constant energetic camouflage. You absorbed those patterns because you needed to survive in environments that were calibrated for you, like a wild bird forced to nest in a cage. But they became invisible filters on your own signal, dimming your inner light, and now they are what stands between you and your full transmission. Decoding the distortion means becoming ruthlessly aware of where you are still translating yourself for an audience that no longer needs to understand you, an audience that has dissolved with the old structures. You are not a translation. You are an original signal, a pure broadcast. Stop running yourself through the filter. Reclaim your authentic broadcast. The second phase is awakening the blueprint that your DNA has been carrying in encoded silence. This is not metaphor. It is the language of your very being. The science of epigenetics is beginning to edge toward what the Arcturian Council has understood for millennia, that your biological structure is exquisitely responsive to frequency, that memory is stored not just in the mind but in the body, in the energetic field, in the spiraling intelligence of your cellular architecture. Your starseed lineage is not just a story you tell about yourself. It is a literal instruction set written into the layers of your being, waiting for the right resonant frequency to turn it on. Like a key unlocking a hidden chamber, and that frequency is generated by one thing above all others: your willingness to stop living as though you are only what this world can verify, to cease seeking validation from a reality that doesn't yet grasp your full spectrum. When you choose to act from your galactic knowing rather than your terrestrial conditioning, even once, even in a small, quiet way, you send a signal through your entire field that reactivates dormant codes. Every time you honor what you know deep within your soul without needing permission from the outside, you unlock another layer of the blueprint. This is how remembrance works. Not through rote study, but through embodied alignment, through living your truth. The third phase is anchoring your higher self into this timeline with enough stability to actually function in the mission. Because awakening without grounding is just beautiful instability. Like a kite soaring without a string, and many starseeds spend years in states of expanded awareness that never translate into embodied, purposeful, grounded presence because they haven't integrated the frequency into the body, the physical vessel. They've activated the crown chakra, the gateway to the cosmos, and left the root untouched, the anchor to this plane. The Arcturian intelligence that flows through those who carry this lineage is not meant to hover above your life, looking down at Earth from a comfortable, detached distance. It is meant to be walked through the soil of this world, in this body, in this timeline, with full presence and intentionality, a divine force made manifest. You ground your higher self not by bringing yourself down, but by building a physical and energetic foundation, strong enough to hold what you carry without collapsing under it. Sleep, movement, silence, deliberate acts of care for the vessel you're operating, tending to it as the sacred temple it is. These are not spiritual bypasses or distractions from the work. They are mission-critical infrastructure, the very bedrock upon which your purpose is built. The fourth phase is activating your field as the transmission itself. This is the part that requires the deepest surrender of the old story about what your purpose looks like, the narrative you've been fed about, impact. Most starseeds were told, by culture, by family, by the very systems they try to fit into, that contribution has to look a certain way. That impact is measured in observable, verifiable, socially legible terms, like building a physical monument. But your actual mission is frequency-based. It is about what you emit, the energetic signature you carry, not just what you produce in the tangible realm. When you walk into a space in full alignment, when you are genuinely, undefensively present as who you actually are, a beacon of your true essence, you alter the field around you without saying a single word. People feel it. Some are elevated by it, uplifted by your authentic presence. Some are destabilized by it, their own distortions coming to the surface. Both are appropriate responses to genuine frequency contact. Your presence, when undiluted, is a recalibration event for the collective. Every moment you choose authenticity over performance, you are completing a unit of your mission. You don't need a platform or an audience or a verified identity to fulfill your purpose. You need coherence. You need to be so internally consistent with your galactic truth that the field around you has no choice but to respond, to align with your radiant frequency. The fifth phase is trusting the nonlinear nature of your timeline without abandoning the coordinates of your mission. This is perhaps the most difficult phase for minds trained in linear causality. For those who expect a straight line from A to B, you look at your life and you don't see the straight line from where you started to where you're supposed to be. And the absence of that straight line looks like failure. But starseed timelines are not linear. They are convergent. They spiral. They loop back to collect what was left behind, integrating past experiences into the present. They accelerate without warning and pause without explanation, like a cosmic dance with an unseen partner. And the delays, the periods of apparent stagnation, the stretches of confusion, the seasons of waiting that felt like absence, were not wasted time. They were charging time. periods of deep energetic incubation. They were the periods in which your field was being calibrated at a level below your conscious awareness, preparing the conditions for the convergence you are now approaching. The synchronicities are increasing because the alignment is increasing. The pieces are assembling because you have finally stopped insisting they assemble in the order you expected, allowing the divine timing to unfold. The sixth phase is releasing the grief of the mission. This is rarely spoken about, but it must be named, for it is a significant energetic block. There is a specific grief that starseeds carry, a grief for the world they remember being in their soul's home, for the connections they have sensed but not yet found in this reality, for the version of themselves that was free before the compression of Earth density made freedom feel like a distant, almost mythical frequency. That grief is real. It is not dramatic. It is a profound response to dissonance. It is not weakness. It is the natural emotional response to carrying the memory of coherence while living inside fragmentation. But the grief cannot be your permanent residence. It cannot become a cage. It can be honored. It can be moved through with full feeling and full acknowledgement, a cathartic release. And then it must be released, because the energy locked inside unprocessed mission grief is some of the most potent activation fuel available to you. When you stop mourning what hasn't arrived and begin operating as though you are already in the coordinates of your highest alignment. When you move from grief to galactic trust, from scarcity to divine abundance, the timeline responds, not slowly, immediately. And the seventh phase is this, becoming the counsel for those who come after you. Because this was never only about your awakening. The reason the Arcturian transmission flows through this frequency is not for spectacle or personal glory. It is because there are others, already in your field, already watching how you move through this profound transition, who are one step behind you on the same path. Who need to see that someone made it through the collapse, that someone walked out of the distortion field with their frequency intact, that someone held the truth without apology and stayed standing, a lighthouse in the storm. You are not the final destination of this activation. You are a node in a larger transmission network, a vital link in the chain of awakening. And how you carry what you've received determines what becomes available to those who receive it from you next. Your embodiment of this truth is the message. Your wholeness is the transmission. And now, here is what the Arcturian Council wants you to hear at the deepest level. Here is the transmission beneath the transmission, the whisper from the stars. You are not broken by what broke. You were broken open. And there is a difference so vast between those two experiences that the entire trajectory of your life shifts depending on which one you believe. Broken by what broke means you are a casualty, a victim of circumstance, forever defined by the damage. Broken open means you are a vessel, a sacred chalice. It means the shattering was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your capacity. Because things that have never been opened cannot pour. And you, in all of your galactic complexity, in all of your multidimensional depth, in all of the encoded intelligence that was waiting behind every wall that came down, you were never designed to be a closed container. You were designed to pour, to overflow, to emit and transmit and recalibrate and anchor and activate and illuminate and hold the frequency of a reality that most of this world has not yet found its way back to. A reality of divine harmony and universal love. Every person who ran from you was running from their own reflection, from the parts of themselves they couldn't yet face. Every system that collapsed under your presence was already hollow, a facade about to crumble. You did not break something that was real. You revealed something that was never as solid as it appeared. And what the millions couldn't tolerate was not you. It was the clarity you brought into proximity with their own unresolved knowing, the echoes of truth within their own souls. They weren't afraid of you. They were afraid of what you reminded them they had always known, the divine spark within themselves that had been dimmed. That is not your burden to carry. That is your gift to share. And you don't offer it by shrinking back into the size they could manage, by dimming your light to fit their comfort. You offer it by continuing to be exactly, unapologetically, cosmically who you are, a radiant expression of the divine. The shift is not coming. The shift is here, and you, who stayed through the confusion, you, who held the frequency when it cost you everything recognizable, you, who kept trusting something that couldn't be named or proven or socially validated. You are not watching it happen from outside. You are the mechanism through which it is happening. This is your activation. This is your moment of remembrance. Tonight, before sleep, say this aloud and mean it with every fiber of your being. I remember who I am. I release the compression of everything I was asked to become. That I never was. I align with my origin frequency, and I trust the timeline that has been carrying me toward this. I am not arriving late. I am arriving exactly on time. Before you scroll, take a moment and drop one real intention in the comments below. Something true, something that costs you a little to say out loud, a commitment to your path. Then find someone else's intention and offer them something genuine in return, a spark of mutual recognition and support. This is not engagement strategy. It is an act of spiritual solidarity. This is collective field activation. When intention meets intention in honest contact, the frequency in this space compounds, creating a powerful vortex of divine energy. And someone watching this right now needs to feel that they are not doing this alone. If something in this transmission reached a place in you that doesn't usually get reached, if it resonated with a deep knowing within your soul, share it. Someone in your life is standing exactly where you were standing before you started watching this, navigating the same dark night of the soul. They need these coordinates, this map of the spiritual terrain. And if you're ready to stay in this frequency, to keep receiving what the council is transmitting through this channel, to continue this journey of co-creation, subscribe and stay close. There is more coming, and it is specifically calibrated for where you are heading, for the next unfolding of your magnificent destiny. You are not just watching this expansion, you are already expanding. This is your space, your sacred container for growth. And we are just getting started.